Hi, hi everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon, and it's me, Sailor Saturn, a Sailor Ring World here. And today we're going to talk about how Duane got into Sailor Moon. Now, some folks out there might really wonder how some folks got into Sailor Moon. Now, Duane Saga, and Duane is the owner of this YouTube fairway. For any newcomer doesn't know that. So anyway, it all started in 9 between 95 YL when Sailor Moon came to the 4-1 Reichs in the settled land. Even though Sailor Moon started 1 month in the settled land in the 8th month, and Sailor Moon started in the 9th month of the 4-1 Reichs, it wasn't much of a unlikeness. In the 4-1 Reichs, the only folk works that got to deal with Sailor Moon was UPN, which is no longer around anymore and became the CW, and WB, which is no longer around, which became the CW, which would go on to be My Network TV, 520 to the point, and whatever it is nowadays. And there would be days where Duane would wake up early enough, because it had to be on either 5 or 5:30 or 6 or 6:30 in the morning, long before anyone else was awake. Now, these may have been days where he was off from learn or something, but then there would have been some followings. He would watch some of them, I guess on UPN or WB, one of the two, and then go through the rest of his day, either if he went to learn or whatever, and not bring it up. He wouldn't talk about it. Not that he was ashamed of it or guilty of it or anything. It just it didn't come up. No one else talked about it. So, yeah. No one else was talking about it, so it wasn't a thing. Now, later on, it was then offshooted to USA, and this would have been in between 97 YL, and then he started watching some of it when it was on USA. Only was short-lived when it was on USA, because USA didn't drop their drawing show arm by the end of 9 between 98 YL. And then later on it went to cartoon, or drawing show, folk work. And it was on cartoon from 9 between 98 YL till 2003 YL. Talking about the Deacon Cloverway one. Fuck. So, sorry for saying that. And then after that, he would, forget about it. It was just some show that he watched when he was younger and didn't think anything of it. You want to go on? Oh, yeah, thank you, Sailor Moon. And then years later, it would be Nostalgia Critic or the Past Scaver who talks about Sailor Moon, and then that is how Duane got back into it. And he's been into it ever since then. He watched the Deacon Clearway one sundriest times on sundriest websites. Some websites that are no longer around anymore. And then it took him a long time to start getting every single doll that Irwin and Bandai ever made. And some that Great Eastern Glee made, but that's still a forlonging thing. And then it was hit and misses of sundriest YouTube fairways until this one. Now, a lot of folks out there will say that they've been Sailor Moon followers since 9 between 95 YL. And that would be true for a lot of folks in the English-speaking world, at least in North Vinland and the 4-1 Reichs in the settled land. That would be true. Because at least in those two lands, Sailor Moon came out around that time. Now, in the settled land, Sailor Moon only was on one folk work, and that was YTV. A a settle-landed, a North Vinlander, settle-lander Farsi or folk work, which doesn't have any broadcast deals with any Y or Moon giver in the 4-1 Reichs that I knew of. Now, we're getting way off track, but the grounds is that after he saw those shows back in the day on UPN, WB, USA, and Cartoon, he wouldn't think anything of it. Like we said, he would go to learn, he'd go to wherever he was, whatever, and it wouldn't come up. And you would think that it would have come up, that someone at Learn would have talked about it, but most likely no. He would grow up, watch the show on and off when it was on UPN, WB, USA, and Cartoon, and then see some showings for it. Some for the dolls, the Irwin Toy Bandai doll showings. Showings about, oh, Sailor Moon's coming to WB, UPN, USA, Cartoon. He may have watched it on those folk works like we said, but didn't really say anything about it. Why? Who knows? So yes, he might be a latecomer to a show which many folks have been followers of since now between 95 YL and North Vinland, the 4-1 Reichs and the Setterland. But for a lot of folks, it would have been between 92 YL for others as far as Dawnland goes and the rest of the world. And he's been a Sailor Moon follower ever since that day. Let's go. All right. Now, some folks out there, coming back to you now, Sailor Moon. Yeah. Thank you, Sailor Saturn, Sailor Ringworld. Anyway, at the end of the day, that is a whole saga about how Duane got into Sailor Moon. You know, starting from him watching the show here and there when it was on UPN and WB and 9 between 95 YL and USA and 9 between 97 YL and Cartoon and 9 between 98 YL to 2003 YL, but not as much. And he mostly would watch it, buy all the dolls, the Irwin Toy, the Bandai dolls, and still for longing with a lot of the Great Eastern Glee dolls too. But that's how we got into it. If you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Don't forget to share, thumb up, and playlist this film. Watch the other film we made early this morning over here. Don't forget to hit that ringer so that you know when the next upload, a live stream, or short's been done. I, Sailor Moon, Serena, and I, Sailor Saturn, Sailor Ringworld, Ataru, and we'll see you later.